Alright, YouTube, here for my review of my CMMG Banshee. So I took my CMM Banshee out to 1,100 rounds. So that's 1,100 again. I shot well over, I would say probably a little over half of that being defense and hunting rounds. The reason why I did more percentage of defensive rounds is because I did defensive and hunting rounds. So, I mean, that just means it skewed my normal testing. Instead of doing a third of the 1,000 rounds being defense and then the rest full metal jackets, this was closer to half. I ran extreme hunters through it from Underwood. I ran quite a few hardcasts. I ran different brands of hardcast, but mainly Underwood. And then I ran extreme penetrators Underwood, extreme defenders Underwood. I ran some critical duty through it. I ran some all sorts of different ammo through it. A lot of different types of cheap ammo, and including Iguela, which this gun really didn't like, honestly, because it was really bad. I ran a Sig Elite through it, which is what it liked the most, the ball ammo. But I've ran a lot of different ammo through it. I can't remember exactly all of what I ran through it, but yeah. The only issues that I've had through it is because it has a H2 buffer in it. So it's made for higher loads. So any higher loads that I ran through it didn't have any issues. Hunting defense ammo ran flawlessly. I only had one issue with hunting ammo, and I just had one failure to feed from a hard cast. But I mean, it's alright. It is what it is. But that was just one malfunction through it. It is what it is. But I've ran a lot of hardcasts through it, so one hardcast through it issue is alright. I'm not going to be using a lot of hardcasts, so I mean, it is what it is. Most of my hunting ammo would be extreme penetrators, and those were 100% reliable through it. I did zero it to the Sig Elite ball, so I noticed most of my hunting ammo I gotta aim a little bit higher. So when I decide what my hunting ammo is gonna be, and when I pick it up, then I'll re-zero my optic to it. I have a red dot / green dot sight mark. I have it set on the reticle, which is the circle with the cross through it and the dot in the center, and I have it set on green, not red. As you can see, it's on safe even though it's loaded, and there isn't one in the actual chamber itself, only the magazine is loaded. It does have a dust cover. It does have an extended paddle release to compensate for it running Glock mags. Yes, it does run Glock mags. This is the 10mm, so it has 30 rounds of 10mm, and I run 3 magazines total. These 2 magazines are loaded to 30. This one is loaded to 25. Because of the spring pressure, it's impossible to load the magazine with it being 30 rounds into it on a closed bolt. The reason why I have it set up like this is because I can't have one in the chamber. I sleepwalk, so as a defense gun for me at night, it's not going to be loaded. It's going to have the safe on it, and it's going to have a closed bolt. Although the magazine is going to be inserted, I still have to run the bolt and flip the safety off, which is a lot of work to do for me to be able to do that at sleep. So also with my handguns, they stay unloaded the same way, one out of the chamber, so that way I have to load into the chamber to be able to fire the guns, so that way I'm less likely to kill somebody on accident when I'm sleepwalking. It's just something that I have to do as a person. When I'm carrying a gun and I'm out and about and awake, I do keep one in the chamber. But just a heads up, if you are going to go into the CMMG Banshee, realize that this firearm, you cannot load the magazine full on a closed bolt in the AR-15. So that's just one of the downsides that people say is a downside. It's not really to me, because I just have backup magazines that are loaded to 30. So that's gonna be 85 rounds of 10 mil. You know. All right, so that's gonna be a dual port chunk muzzle brake, although it does have 2 extra ports on the top, no ports on the bottom or the side. It's very obnoxious. It sends out quite the concussive blast. I'm not a person that runs suppressors. I don't believe in them. If I'm going to use this in a defensive situation, if I pull that trigger, everybody's going to go down in the room. Anybody who's in front of me, anybody who's beside me. So, I mean, it is what it is. That's just me personally. I am running 10 millimeter. I'll show you what I'm running as some of what I'm running. So I'm just running some hollow points. So that's going to be Liberty. And then I'm running some other, I'm running critical duty, as well as just some regular bulk hollow points. Well, bulk cheap hollow points. So I mean, that's that. They're the VLG Defense. I think they're 180 grain. The only one that isn't 180 grain would be the Liberty. I'm pretty sure the critical duty is 185, if I'm not mistaken, grain. But don't quote me on that. But yeah, that's what I'm running in there. So you're gonna have an extended paddle release on it. So you're gonna have an extended paddle release for the bolt release. You're going to have an ambidextrous safety on it. It does have a 90-degree throw on it. The firearm has the Radian Raptor charging handle on it, ambidextrous. It has sling plate on the back, which I will be using eventually. It's going to have M-lock just on the sides and bottom. It has a rail that runs the entire way. I am going to replace this. As you can see, I have some damage there. Just got to replace my handguard, and then we'll be good to go. As far as would I say it's 100% reliable? No, I'd say it's 99% reliable, but that's good enough. As far as for me, the issues I were having was during what I would call a break-in period. So now that it's broken in, I haven't had any issues like that, including running ammo through it that's really weak. I noticed that the more that later on in the lifetime of the firearm that I ran the really weak ammo, I wasn't having the issues I was having where the bolt just stay locked back, and then I would have to run the bolt, run the charging handle to load it, because it would just stay back, or run the paddle release to load it. As far as do I think it's a really good gun? Yeah. Eventually I want to hunt with it. That's why I bought it. I want to hunt hogs with it. Also deer. I intend to eventually hunt white-tailed deer with it. It's another reason why I picked this up, because this is the only caliber that you can hunt white-tailed deer with a pistol. So the only pistol caliber you're allowed to hunt white-tailed deer with is 10 millimeter for ethical reasons. And then also, if I'm going to be out in the woods hunting, I want something that can bring down a bear as well. I don't expect to run into grizzly bears, but at least brown bears. And then also mountain lions. The area I'm in, we got to worry about mountain lions, so I want to be able to drop them if need be, and 9mm isn't going to do it for me, so I stepped up to 10mm because I can use it for hunting and defense. Alright, YouTube, that's the CMMG Banshee. You guys have a good one.